Hello wonderful people, it's Weil here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this show-stopping enchanted temple. This stunning build features a domed roof and would make an incredible base or an addition to a fantasy medieval world. I'll be showing you step by step how to create this, so let's get building. And don't forget you can access schematics and world downloads for this build and all my other tutorials over on Patreon. The materials you'll need for this build are on your screen now. Keep in mind that this is a large build, so it's always useful to have a few extra of each supply on hand. Here is the outline of our build. You can see it's essentially a circle with an interior diameter of 21 blocks. You can put in an outline like this one to help you build. We're going to start by adding in some posts. I've got some stone bricks here and I'm going to add one on either side of the front. You can see these are 5 blocks across. Then I'm going to come around and place them in kind of the corners of the circle, if you can imagine that. Then we have some along the other side, again in this corner, and I'm just going around the build like this. So here is where we've got our bases of our posts. I'm then going to take quartz pillars, and out of each post, I'm going to go around and place in 4 like this. Then on top of that, I'm going to use a temporary block and place a pearlescent frog light on top. I'll break that temporary block and add in a lever and flick it, so that way when I place on some iron trapdoors, they'll automatically be flipped down. I'm then going to cover up that lever by placing in 4 stone brick stairs like this, and I'm going to place a chiseled stone brick on top of the pearlescent frog light. Now with all 12 of our posts in place, you can see that there's going to end up with a 3-block gap between each of the 2 posts on the flat sides like this. And then where we've got our ones on the sort of diagonal, we've got 2 blocks and 1 coming off on a diagonal to either side of them. Alright, on top of each, I'm going to build up 3 high with quartz pillars like this. So let's quickly go ahead and do that, and then we're going to start adding some detail to the very top of these pillars. Okay, so working on these pairs here, I'm going to have a pillar come out from the top with a wall underneath. Just like this. Then on all of the ones on the diagonal, we have 4 of these. I'll come out to either side with 2 stone brick walls. Next, we're going to work on filling in this floor. So I'm going to build 5 blocks of diorite across each of these sections here like this. Then to join them up, I'm going to come back on the diagonal and build across 3. And then we should have 3 more blocks to connect them up. So I'm going to create the same outline going all the way around. And then we're going to fill in the interior of this with blocks, or if you're in survival, you can use slabs to save on resources. And then we're going to create an edge out of slabs. So let's create this edge now. I'm just going to be filling in these gaps in between the pillars like this. And this creates a nice smooth step up to our domed platform. Almost all the way around, and we can get filling in. You could also create a fancy design on this pattern, but what you need to remember is that we're going to find the center block here. So I'm lining myself up with the center of both sides. So that's the center here, and I'm going to leave that gap free for our beacon, and I can fill in the rest. We're going to start working on the interior wall next. So I've got some prismarine out. I'm going to come to one of these 4 corner posts and place myself in the corner between these 2 stairs. I'm then going to count 3 diagonally. 1, 2, 3, and it's easy to count with these diorite blocks. On the 4th block, I'll place in a prismarine and then add 1 to either side. And I'm going to do this on each side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and our last one, 1, 2, 3. And you can check that you've counted correctly, as these blocks should line up with each other, like that. Okay, we've got the base in for our walls. We're going to add in a few more blocks. So we've got some chiseled stone brick coming around here, and we're creating a sort of circle here. Like that. And then 3 more prismarine to connect these walls up. Now on the front of the build, I am going to leave the center block free because we're adding in a warped door here. Let's add in some windows next. On each of the diagonals, I'll build up 3 high with some white stained glass. And I'm also going to be doing the same thing, building up 3 high on the center of these flat walls. Just like this. Now on each of our posts, we're going to build up 5 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with some stone like this. There we go. I'm going to grab some stone bricks now, and I'm going to build up 4 high all the way around my walls, going over the tops of the windows here. And we're going to bring in some of the purple of the amethyst next. So this is going on the outer 2 blocks of each of these panels with a stone brick in between. Now that we've got these base walls in, we can add some detail. We're first going to start on the flat panels, adding in our details, and I'm going to start by adding in some stone brick stairs. 3 placed like this, so upside down, right way up, upside down, like that. I'm then going to create an archway using 2 stone brick stairs placed upside down like that, with a chiseled stone brick in the center, and then finally I'm adding 2 slabs on either side, so it's created a subtle archway design. I'm also going to add in some stone brick walls, 3 high, just to complete that arch. So let's create the same design on the other 3 sides. Now we can work on these diagonals, which will have a similar design, except this time I'm going to build up 4 high on either side with the walls. I'm going to place in 2 stairs like this. We've got 2 chiseled stone bricks here and here, and then I'll finish off with 2 slabs at the top. So once again, we've got our 4 high walls, our 2 stone brick stairs, 2 chiseled stone brick, and then our 2 stone slabs, and those are stone stairs. So let's finish off these decorations. So let's have a look at what we've got so far. It's already looking lovely. And you can see that the wonderful thing with this build is that it's all symmetrical. So if you're unsure if you're building correctly, just check back in with your other sides to make sure everything matches. Next, we're going to work on some archways here out of quartz. So I'm going to start with some smooth quartz stairs, and I'm placing them upside down level with these walls. I'm then going to use a temporary block, which I'll build out like this, to place another stair upside down facing back towards the post. There we go. I'll then place 2 chiseled quartz blocks and a slab in the center to complete the archway. With those 4 in place, let's work on these other archways. So I'm going to start on this central post here by placing in an upside down stair. And then, much as before, I'm going to place in another one facing backwards like this. Next, I'm going to use a temporary block to place 2 quartz blocks coming forward like this. Then I'm going to place in a temporary block so that way I can place an upside down smooth quartz stair here, and using another one to place one here. So you can see it's kind of set back, following along the diagonal there. So then when we work from the other side, we're going to do just the same thing, but we're traveling in the opposite direction here. So we've got this here. Let's add in our chiseled blocks, 1 and 2. grabbing some temporary blocks next and completing this archway. So it will look like this, and we can do this on our other sides. With all of those in, I'm going to go with some amethyst blocks now, and these are going on the center of each of these pillars. So you can see I'm placing them on the upright quartz pillars here. Then I'm going to take some smooth quartz slabs, and across the flat faces, they're just going like this. And then for these faces, I'm going to have them come behind the amethyst as well. So you can see it's kind of connecting up. And you can see this from above. So let's go ahead and add in all of these slabs now. With all those slabs in, we're going to come in next with some more amethyst. Now I'm going to be placing these at the level here just below the slabs, and I'm going to skip out just in front of this slab here, but then continue around the circle like this. So once again, I'll skip over here and continue placing these in. And you can see that some of this amethyst peeps through in the gaps in the stairs. Now we're going to take some smooth quartz slabs, and we're going to add in a few more here. So I'm going to come to each of the corners first and add in a W shape like this. Then for each of these gaps, I'm going to build straight across like this. And then I'm going to add an extra 2 on either side. So you can see how they kind of connect up to form a circle. So let's do this on all the other sides as well. Oh, and one more over here. So here's what we've got from above, and we're ready to work on the next level. I'm going to start this first layer by placing in a temporary block here so I can place in some quartz bricks, just one like that. Then I'm going to build 3 blocks along with some regular diorite and place 2 quartz bricks. I'll come another 3 blocks along and place 2 quartz bricks. 3 blocks along, and we should be back to the same point on the circle so we can continue this pattern all the way around. So once again, we'll have 3, then 2, 3, then 2, 3, and then 1 to start off the pattern again. With those in place, I'm going to take some polished diorite now, and I'm going to be filling in the floor here, and you can see that I'm stopping with the polished diorite right on the edge of this wall, and I'm going to fill in all the way around here. To fill in the rest of this floor for the circle, I'm going to start by adding in a polished diorite block here. You can see that's to one side of the doorway. Then coming around the edges, I'm placing in some stairs. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of the area using some slabs, but I'm going to leave out the gap here in front of this block. That's where our ladder's going to go. And I'm also going to leave out the hole above here where our beacon will shine through. I'm going to begin by placing some quartz pillars. So these are going to be behind these blocks and be 9 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then where we have these 2, they're just going to go in the kind of join between them like this. There we go, all of our pillars are in. Now I've got some quartz stairs. These are the ones that when you place them together, you can see a subtle line. And I'm going to place them like this, upside down and right way up above each of the quartz bricks blocks. And this is going all the way around the build as well. Next, I'm taking some amethyst clusters, and these are going on all of the diorite blocks. So that's the one with a more rough texture here. This is creating a really fancy sort of railing. And while I've got these amethyst clusters out, I'm going to come underneath, and in these gaps between the amethyst, I'm going to place one hanging down. So we'll have 4 of these. Then I'm going to go in with some iron trapdoors, and I'm placing one on top of each amethyst cluster like this to finish off the look of the railing. And I'm also going to use these iron trapdoors coming in front here like this. So you can see that it is level with these pillar blocks, and I'm just making my way around the build following the outline. I'm now going to take some diorite walls. I'm placing these on top of each amethyst block all the way around the build. And then to add some magical illumination, we're adding an end rod on top. Now if you don't have access to end rods, you could substitute these for some chains. And last one, there we go. Now coming back up to the top of these pillars, I'm going to have, in groups of 3, some pillars facing outwards. So then for the next group of 3 like this, I'll rotate round and place in 3. Rotate round, place in 3, and then the final 3. So if we look from above now, you can see which way they're facing. I'll then come down, and I'm going to be placing a quartz stair underneath each of them like this. Next, we're going to create some archways. You can see that there's 2 sections spaced on either side of the center of each face. We're going to work on those first. I'm starting by grabbing a smooth quartz stair, and I'm placing one off of each of these upper pillars, and then a slab off of this one here. Then I'm going to place in a couple amethysts just behind that. So it looks like this. Underneath this amethyst block, I'll place in a chiseled quartz block with 2 slabs on either side here and here, and you can see I'm curving it around to make it all match up. Then I'm placing an iron trapdoor below that and 2 more smooth quartz stairs here and here. So it should look like this. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to add in a couple of stone buttons there and there. So now I'll do this over on the other side, following the same sort of design. So the front panel should look like that. Let's repeat this. Now we want to create some similar arches in each of these corners. I'm going to start by placing a smooth quartz stair at the top of each pillar like this. Then I'm going to use a temporary block so that I can place 2 smooth quartz slabs in diagonally just to join them. I'll then come behind and add in 3 blocks of amethyst like that. I'll place a chiseled quartz block below here with 2 slabs on either side, and then I'm going to finish with some stairs. And you see I place these smooth quartz stairs directly onto these slabs, and it places them a slab below. I'm also going to add a couple more buttons beside the stairs like that. Let's repeat this design now. To finish off these archways, I'm going to add an iron trapdoor below each of these chiseled blocks here. And I'm going to take some prismarine and go all the way around the circle behind this layer. And you can see that lets just a hint shine through. We're going to move inside now and work on some walls. So I'm going to come to these pillars here and put my back against them and count in 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. Then on the 4th block, I'm going to place 3 prismarine like this. Let's move around and do it on the other sides. 1, 2, 3. And on the last side here, 1, 2, 3. And you can check that this one lines up with where we've got our hole for the ladder. Then I'm just going to place 2 and 2 on either side to complete the circle. There we go. Let's add in some windows next. We're using white stained glass, building up 4 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the inside edge of these 2 blocks. There we go. Before we add in our walls, I'm also going to break in the location for the door. I'm going to have mine on the front of the build as well. And let's just build up on all of these walls to the same height as our window. To finish off this wall, I'm going to count the 2 blocks up for my door and fill in this gap. Then above each window, I'm going to add in a chiseled stone brick. Like that, and I'll fill in the wall all around here. I'll then take some more prismarine and I'm going to place them on every other block and then along here like this. And the gaps will be filled in with stone brick. And I'll finish off with one more layer of stone brick on the very top. Like that. For the next step, I've come inside the build here. I'm going to be placing a row of trapdoors coming down like this. That way I can place my ladder on them. Now, if you're in Bedrock, you're not going to be able to place ladders on trapdoors like this. So you could place some blocks here. I think using something that matches with the build looks great. So you could use some prismarine. I'm going to have the ladders come all the way up to the top here, and I'll stop about here. Next, I'm going to place polished diorite on top of this whole outline. Like this. I'm also going to place a polished diorite in each corner. And then in this 3 wide gap, of course I'll need to leave this space free and add in a ladder here. Next, I'm going in with some polished diorite stairs. I'm placing in 2 groups of 2 on either side coming around like this. So that way the corner of this block pokes through like that. I'm going to go in with a few polished diorite slabs just going around this outline next. And if you like, you can fill in the rest of this floor, remembering to leave that hole free, but I like to be able to look up into the big dome we're about to create. Before we create that though, let's fill in the rest of the floor. This is just using some polished diorite blocks, and I'm going right up to the amethyst edge here. I've also come outside at the 2nd story and we're going to add in a few details. I'm going to start by placing a chiseled stone brick on each of the flat faces, excluding this one where the door is going, with a stone stair on top. There we go. Now at the top of these, in line with these prismarine blocks, I'm going to place a stone and then connect them up with some stone brick walls. like that. I'm also going to place some stone brick walls in the corners here, and this is going to go up to the same height. So that's just below these prismarine blocks. We're going to create some archways now. So I'm going to place a stone on top of this stone brick wall. Then I'm going to come to this 3 wide section and place in a stair in front of each of the prismarine like this. And then over this gap, I'm going to place a chiseled stone brick on the roof. So let's go around the build and do the same thing. I'm also going to do this archway design on the front of the build, but I'm just going to skip over where that post would be. So we've got this in now. Let's add a few extra details. So above this stone brick on the corner, or rather the stone, I'm going to add an extra stone with a stair coming out from either side. And I'm also going to add in a couple of slabs. If you're enjoying this video and would like to access some additional benefits like world downloads and access to our multi-world server, check out my Patreon. I'd love to have you join my community. Adding these intricate designs really enhances the build. Now over to these flat sections, we're going to add one more stone here with a stair coming out and then a slab on either side. I'm also grabbing some stone buttons. These are going to go above each window. Now let's work on this doorway. For the design here, I want to create something fairly similar. So I'll add the 2 stone brick at the top, or rather the stone with this stair and a slab on either side. Then I'm going to create a small archway over the top of the door. And I'm going to use some walls here and connect it up with some walls there. And then for the door, we've got our warped door, so it fits in with the style of the rest of the build. To begin our work on the dome, I'm going to start by placing a layer of polished diorite all the way around the edge like this. I'm just following the outside outline here. I'm then going to take some polished diorite slabs and I'm going all the way around the interior edge here, and you can see I'm overlapping the stairs. This is going to give us a nice platform to walk up and look out the magnificent view from our dome. Now that we've got all that done, we're going to move to the outside of the build. Here we're going to be using some quartz stairs and diorite stairs and placing an upside down quartz stair in front of this pillar block and building 4 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see I'm going to be following along the shape of the outline as I do this. Then I'll add in another stair here and I'm going to come over 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to have to muddle around a little bit with my stairs just to get everything to curve around to match up. I'm going to place a quartz stair in this corner and then this pattern's going to repeat. So I've got to place 5 stairs here. And that's my 5th one, so I'm going to need to place them so they curve around nicely. That can take a little bit of muddling around to get. Then I'll place in my quartz stair. Then we've got 4 of my diorite. And that'll bring me back to the start, and I'm going to repeat this all the way around. For the dome, we're going to be creating some guidelines using the smooth quartz blocks. I'm going to start this guideline by placing a block behind this block here and building up a total of 4 high like this. it's going to be super handy to have some temporary blocks here. Then I'm going to go up 2, followed by 1 more. Now we're arching inwards, so we've got 2, and then 2. And I can remove these temporary blocks now. Let's move around and do the other side. So we've got 4, then we've got 2, 1 and 1, 2 and 2. And you can see they're approaching the middle. Let's do our other 2 sides. At the very center top here, I'm going to place in a block coming off of each of these supports. And I can break the temporary blocks. And then I'm going to build a square like this. And in the center, I'm going to place a purple stained glass. Coming back down to the bottom of the dome now, we're going to work on these side sections. See where we've got these W's created out of the diorite stairs? We're going to start by building up 4 high there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to do this in each of these spaces. So you'll find there's 2 of these in between each of the build supports we've already created. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our last 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to take a temporary block and I'm going to place 2 coming up diagonally going towards this main support like this, and then 2 are going to come out from this block to connect up in an arch. And we'll go over to the same side, the other side, doing the same thing. Like this. Now to join the 2 of them up, we're going to use a temporary block placed on the diagonal like this. We'll place 2 smooth quartz blocks beside each other. Then coming back, we're going to place 2 blocks coming up. On a diagonal again, coming up, we'll place 1 block, and I can remove my temporary blocks as I go here. You can see we're kind of arching up towards the top. I'll place in a temporary block and I'm going to place 3 smooth quartz around it, so it's creating an arrow. And then we've got 2 more coming in on a diagonal, and that should join us up to that block there. We have just a few more blocks to add in now. So I'm going to find this block here and I'll place in 2 smooth quartz blocks coming up on a diagonal here and on the other side as well. So if I step back here, you can see that we have a number of panels around the base, then some smaller ones and 2 larger ones at the top. So we'll create this same design on all 4 corners. Now that we've got all of these panels marked out, we can start filling in with cyan glass. I'm going to start by building up 3 high with cyan glass on either side of this central post on each side, and then having 1 coming up like this. We're creating a nice curved design. We're going to build up 3 high again here, then another 2 on here, come up 3 beside it, and then 2 to connect up, and then to fill in this gap, we're adding in a block back here. Let's do this on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, and 1 here. So you can see the design I'm creating in each of these panels is going to be replicated around in this side. So you'll see once again, I'll build up 3 high with 1, 3, and 1. Then behind we'll go up 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. And again, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, and so on. The next panels we'll fill in are these 3 here. So I'm going to build up 2 high in a little kind of L shape like this, and then 2 high in these 2 corners, leaving this bit free. Coming up to the next section, I'll place 2 coming up here, 1 here, 1 back, and then on a diagonal filling in that gap. So 2, 1, 1, and then in the diagonal. And you can see that this design easily rotates around to fill in each of these panels. Next, we need to fill in these panels. So we're going to start by creating an L shape like this with our glass. Then we're going to come up and create this Tetris block type shape almost like an S. Then we've got a little 2x2 square and a block. So coming to the other side, we just have to flip it. So we've got our L, then our sort of S shape, our square, and our single block. And let's repeat this all the way around the build now. Our build is really coming together now, but we've got a few more very important details. We're going to start on the top by placing 4 quartz pillars like this. I'm using a temporary block here so that I can add in some upside down quartz stairs, going all the way around, and I can remove that temporary block. Next we've got some diorite walls with an end rod on top of each. And to tie in the purple up here, we've got some amethyst clusters. Like that. Let's move down to this edge here. I'm going to place in some quartz stairs on top of each of the quartz stairs we have already here. Then I'm going to take a temporary block. I'm coming to this corner here. That way I can place a smooth quartz block floating above that join. Now on top of each of these quartz blocks, we're going to add a diorite wall and an end rod. So that's going on top of the stairs as well here. We're going to go in with some more end rods. We've got 3 coming across on either side of the front, and then 3 along the diagonal here and here. Let's continue this pattern on. Then going all the way around the build, in each of the spaces on these diorite stairs, we're going to add in an amethyst cluster. Let's take a step back and have a look at what we've got so far. A few more things to add, and then I'll show you how I've gone about decorating this build. I'm going to come and add in some decoration for the front door using 2 end rods on either side, and we're going to create a small archway out of smooth quartz stairs and a slab, like that. Then let's come inside the build. We're going all the way up to the top here to add a railing. So I'm just going to place in some end rods going around this gap. And on top of each, I've got an iron trapdoor. Now to add in the really magical detail, I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom here, and you can grab out some purple or cyan or whatever color glass you'd like your beacon to be. And remember, we've got that purple glass at the top, so it will shine out purple from there. And I'm going to go and break out this area here and fill it in with some iron blocks. Place my beacon in here, which will activate very soon. And I'm going to place a glass in here as well. You can leave this one out if you'd like, but that way you don't fall through the hole. So here is our stunning magical enchanting room. Now this is such a grand build, so I decided to go with a formal style of planting. You can see I've created this whimsical sort of hedge all the way around the build with wonderful spirals. And then I've planted some flowers in little patches around here, which really does look magical considering we're in an ice spike biome. Now this build looks great in any biome, but I've gone with this biome as it matches in well with my color scheme. And remember, you could always switch out the color scheme by changing out the amethyst and the cyan blocks for your own color combinations, and be sure to share those with me on Discord if you do. And one of the wonderful things about this magical build is how great it looks at night. You can see that with all of these end rods, it really does look magical. And at the top, I've created this whimsical spiral. To create this, I made a spiral outline out of wool, and then I randomly placed purple, white, cyan, and end rods all over it right up until the top, and then I removed my guideline. And it does look like the magic of the beacon is swirling out of this build. So now you've got an absolutely show-stopping build. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you consider liking and subscribing, and join my Discord to share some pictures of your build and chat with a community of other awesome Minecrafters. And I'll see you in another video.